Production of the J.R. Eldridge Show is made possible with financial support from Arnold, Batson, Turner & Turner, attorneys at law. Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments. The accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning & Plyler, PLLC. Southern Bancorp. Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts. Jostens. Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker. Taylor King, Personal Injury Lawyers. Twin Rivers Health and Rehabilitation. Welch Funeral Home. Roger Wingfield of State Farm Insurance. And Southwest Sporting Goods. This is the J.R. Eldridge Show with the coach of the Arkansas State Champion Football Badgers. Joining Coach Eldridge today is your host, Caleb Bird.
Welcome back to another week of the J.R. Eldridge Show. I'm your host, Caleb Bird. We're joined as always by Coach Eldridge. Coach, your team traveled to Wynne on Friday night. Had a rough start to the game, down 21-0 in the third quarter, but came back, made it a competition, but ended up falling short 35-28.
Yeah, we did. It's very disappointing. Just going into the bye week, going in after a loss, I felt like we really shot ourselves in the foot early. We gave up a touchdown on Wynne's first drive, and then we really had a 14-point swing. We're going in to score. We fumbled the ball right into Wynne's hands. They're able to go score right after that. So that's really a 14-point swing. We really wasted the entire first quarter as far as us being able to score points and get something going offensively. Defensively, felt like it took us a little bit to get adjusted to the speed of the game. And then, toward the end, felt like our offense started really clicking. And then our defense gave up some big plays that we shouldn't have. It's not to take anything away from Wynne; they're a good football team, but I just felt like we made too many mistakes to win the football game. We also gave up. They tried an onside kick. We didn't field it. Those are mistakes that we haven't made. I mean, really. We haven't given up an onside kick in 3 years. This would have been our fourth year, so that's something that we've taken pride in. We work it at least twice a week, and we just didn't make the play. And that's, I think, what it comes down to. As far as our team goes, every time we're out there, as a football player, every player on the field, all 11 of our football players on the field have got to expect to make the play. And really, I'm going to make the play. I'm going to make the play. That's the mindset that we want to have. And I just felt like, some of the time during the game, we were expecting somebody else to make the play. And we gave ourselves a chance at the end, but throughout the game earlier, we didn't play up to par. So we've got to get better during this bye week and then move forward toward Nashville.
All right, Coach. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the game and break down some of the film. Opening kickoff, Goodman was doing a really nice job Friday night, getting a lot of touchbacks in the game, and Wynne comes out here in their option offense, and early on, the Badgers did a good job stopping it.
Really did. I felt like we had two key third downs. We put them in third and long situations twice, and we give up big plays on both those third and long situations. We had a 3rd and 8 right there. We give up a big play. That's something that we worked on. That counter play, something we worked on all week, and we didn't play it correctly. So we've got to get better and got to get more consistent at being able to play our responsibilities.
And then this long touchdown pass right here. They did lots of short runs and then went over the top for a pass. It seemed to just catch the safety off guard.
Yeah, and that's not an unusual play for Wynne. I mean, we worked it all week. We've got to do a better job getting our eyes in the right spots and then being able to make a play when it comes to us. We weren't in good position because we hadn't put ourselves in good position.
Offense coming on the field here, and Kai Harrison getting a start at running back and doing a really nice job getting some good yardage here on a screen pass, getting the ball into the red zone.
Yeah, Zion throughout the week, we weren't able to get him back. He sprained his ankle in the Benton game. Really proud of Kyron Harrison, just the way he was able to do a great job for us at the cap position. I think he had 76 yards rushing on, I can't remember how many carries, but he did a great job throughout the game playing offense.
Yeah, and this was the fumble you mentioned earlier. Within the 5-yard line, just gives the ball away, and a big swing in the game right there.
Yeah, and that's a game changer right there. You know, we go from being 7-7 right there. Now they're driving, and we put our defense back on the field quickly right there, and they go in and score right here. But that's just something we can't do. That's a 14-point swing. We end up wasting the first quarter.
How difficult is it to go up against this kind of offense? That you don't see this kind of offense every week, and it takes a lot of discipline to go against it.
It really does. You know, we've had considerable success against the triple option in the past, but again, it takes a lot of discipline to make sure that I am doing my job. Everybody's got a specific responsibility, whether that's the fullback or the dive, the quarterback, or the pitch. And, you know, we do it correctly on plays like this, but then if we have a letdown, it causes a real problem. This is the same counter play right here that we stop. You know, our assistant coaches do a great job on the sideline. Same counter play that they got on a 3rd and long earlier. We've just got to be more consistent.
Offense gets the ball back here deep inside their own territory, but continue to drive, get some nice rushing plays, and the offense was moving a lot better this week than we'd seen in the previous two.
Yeah, we had over 400 yards of offense. Kanan Turner had 125 yards rushing and I think 240 yards passing. Felt like we did a good job distributing the ball. Coach Moreland did a good job calling plays. You know, Wynne's they've got good players. They fly to the football. They've got good team speed. You know, and I felt like we moved the ball well on them. We had 2 pointless drives, and that can't happen. One of them where we're going in, just like we talked about earlier.
Here, the Wynne offense coming back on the field and running this option really to perfection. They execute the option extremely well, almost, I think, better than any team I've ever seen in high school football.
Yeah, they did. You know, they improved a lot between their first game and their second game. They weren't as good in their first game, and then they really did a great job, just like you're saying, everybody blocking the correct guy, the quarterback making the correct reads. They really did a good job, and then we were inconsistent with our discipline.
Big play here, a long pass from Cannon, a really impressive pass across his body. Gets to Tadamy. Tadamy gets in the end zone, but it gets called all the way back thanks to a holding call. Yeah,
you know, those are situations that we've talked about in practice. You know, we got a holding call when we were going in. Later on in the game, we're on the 5. We get a holding call, and it backs us up to the 15. We get a holding call on a touchdown, and it brings us all the way back. So those are momentum busters right there, and we've got to get better at making sure we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, like you said, a few times in the game, it seemed like the Badgers, if they had these couple of moments had been differently, it seemed like our Philadelphia would have come out on top.
Yeah, we really would have. I mean, even with us fighting from behind the entire second half, you know, some of these critical errors that we made, you know, right here again, another 3rd down. That we don't get off the field. Like right there, they were in 3rd and 13. and they end up making the first down, that gives them even more momentum for their next first down call. Now they have the opportunity to stay ahead of the chains. We've got to get better on third down as a defense.
The option here again, but it's not done exactly right. Good tackle by Carlos Haney on the pitch man. And the cornerbacks did a decent job here running the option, but it seems like they might have got caught off a few times in the passing game.
Yeah, we did. That first big pass for a touchdown, they took their shot and they got it. We were just not in good position. And then right there, they ran a wheel route. We should have locked on to the wheel route out of the down safety. We didn't do that. So we just got to get better. We got to be more consistent. To me, that's the biggest deal right now. We're playing good here and there, but then, we give up a couple big plays, get a holding call, whatever the situation is, we end up, that inconsistency really hurts us right now.
Cannon Turner coming in and in the second half here, doing a really nice job on the ground. A lot of option plays, quarterback draws. He really did well using his feet to pick up yards.
Yeah, I agree. He did a great job running the football. Like I said, 125 yards of rushing for Cannon, and felt like he did a good job in the passing game. Kyron right there just doing a great job of continue with yards after contact for that score. Nice
job by the Badgers. Now they're only trailing 21-7. Offense moving, maybe gaining some confidence here. And the defense coming out here, the kick team, trapping this return man within the 10-yard line.
Yeah, we finally got back to the way we want our headhunters to play. Did a great job of really, dig, step, replace, and then get back into our lane. And everybody was doing it, so we were able to get that TFL behind the 20, and hopefully we'll continue to get better at that.
See here, the play is switched. We're now in the fourth quarter. With the way Wynne runs their offense, it makes it really hard to come back on them.
Really does. We get a stop right here, and one other thing, just me seeing that quarterback drop the ball there, we had several opportunities to have turnovers. Balls on the ground. We've got to get better at continuing to get to the ball and not expecting someone else to be there to make the play. I mean, we've got to expect to make the play.
Cannon here up the middle, right through the middle of the defense on a blitz, I believe, and that left the middle of the defense open, and Cannon used his speed to get in.
Yeah, it's a great job right there by our offensive line and by Cannon. Did a really good job getting in the box. We're starting to make a comeback here, and we got to be on the same page as an offense, a defense, a special teams. When one is not going well, we've got to be able to make up for that phase by the other. And I thought, toward the end of the game, we just weren't able to get on the same page as far as scoring and then getting a stop, scoring and then getting a stop.
Just a moment ago, you saw Josh Wallace with a big hit. Wallace did well in the game. The other middle linebacker there, Cole Turner, picking up a fumble.
That's a good job. I mean, we really have a chance right here, and I feel like our offense finally got in a rhythm. So our offense is moving the football.
And offense doing a nice job here. This play tended to work a lot in the game. It looked like it was an over-under route combo there, and it worked for getting a lot of yards.
Yeah, Coach Moreland put this route combination in specifically for the coverage that we thought they might run, which is, in our terminology, we call blue coverage, where they sit the corner to the strong side and roll over the top of them to cover 3.
Huge point swing right here. Fail on the fourth down conversion to get a touchdown, and then the very next play, Wynne breaks a 98-yard touchdown.
Yeah, if you go back and look at that fourth down call, it's a great call. They only had 2 guys over 3 guys, so if we're able to complete that ball and execute the blocks on the 2 guys that are over there, we score. I mean, it's great setup, great call right there. We don't end up converting on it, If we do, we've really got a shot. So, we've just got to, in those critical situations, we've got to be able to take advantage of our opportunities.
Staten Witten is coming up with a lot of catches here in the fourth quarter. He was really a hero at the end of the game.
Yeah, I felt like he did a great job. Staten continues to get better. He caught the ball really well. This is an outstanding catch right here for a touchdown. I felt like he just did an excellent job right there.
He's a player that got a few targets the first couple weeks, was having some trouble coming up with catches, but now he seems like he's getting in a rhythm. He's going to be a big player come conference time.
Yeah, and that's something that that we want to do. And really, that's what these non-conference games are for. Is for guys who, especially guys. Staten never started in a varsity game until this year. As a sophomore, he didn't start. He got some playing time and did a great job. We even had him at a different position, but we're looking for guys to continue to get better so that as we go into conference, we'll be in the best shape we can possibly be in.
Good ball there from Cannon Turner to Victor Tadamy. Sets up a nice touchdown pass to Alec Rubel. Two of the top receivers there coming up big at the end of the game.
That's a great drive. I felt like our 2-minute offense clicked better than it ever has. Did a great job on both of those drives to score. And I think we scored in 1:30 on the first one. I think 1:06 on the second one. So great job by our offense and our offensive coordinator, Coach Moreland, making those calls, and then our offense executing. We didn't do well enough on the front end, and then when we started to come back, we weren't able to put it all together in all three phases. And so we've got to just be more consistent in every phase of the game so that we don't hurt ourselves early, and then we're not fighting from behind at the end.
Yeah, the team seemed like, to me, that they had a lot more confidence this week than they had the last few, particularly in the offensive line. It seemed to me the offensive line really came together in this game and put in a much improved performance, and they gave the running backs holes to run through and gave Cannon time to go through his progressions and make passes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like our offensive line is getting better. They've gotten better every week. And every single one of those guys, they did not start last year, so first time starts for them for all three of these weeks, and they just continue to get better. The speed of the game, I think, is slowing down for them so that they're able to execute better. So we look forward to to them continuing to grow as football players and really to grow as a unit. So I felt like they made some progress for sure on Friday night.
Yeah, and I tell everyone when they ask me about the Badgers, they say, well, how's the team looking this year? They got a lot of people back from last year, so why have they lost the first 3 games? And I say, well, it takes everything to come together. The offensive line's a big part of that. And what I saw on Friday night, if they take that into the conference season, I don't see any reason why the Badgers couldn't go undefeated.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's the thing. We got to take it one day at a time. We got to focus on today and do what we do our best to make the most of every single day. But over the long haul, I totally agree with you as far as we've just got to continue to get better every single week. Our football players, they've got to understand that, you probably, if we played the same teams we had been playing in the non-conference, you may, even making the same mistakes that we've been making, you're probably still 3-0. And so against those tougher opponents, I think one thing that it has done for us, it has helped us to get that real life football experience that we need. We've been in some battles, and so hopefully those battles will pay off for our conference run.
Yeah, and so how do you think the team's confidence is now looking into conference? When you play easier opponents and you beat them pretty badly, that tends to give your team some confidence. But when you get beat, maybe that demoralizes the team a little bit. So what's the team's confidence looking like right now?
Yeah, and that's a tough balance, and what our players, I think that's a real challenge because you do, really 9 points separates us from being 2-1 right now, and that's a tough pill to swallow, especially when you have your chances to win the game. And I think our players, if they understand that and see, 5 plays, if there's a difference in 5 plays within those 2 games, as far as execution goes, we win those 2 ball games. And you're not having to question yourself. When you lose a football game, you question everything. And that's the nature of coaching. That's the nature of, you spend so much time preparing for one opponent, hours-wise for coaches, and then time and energy-wise for players. And then you come out with a loss. It's demoralizing. So you question everything. And so hopefully those doubts that creep in because of a record can be squashed by focusing on doing the right thing within the play, whether it's special teams, offense, or defense. That's what we really want to focus on, is that energy and effort for each specific play. And I think if our players understood that, which we're trying to make that happen as a coaching staff, help our players understand that, look, 5 plays between those 2 games, that makes the difference in your record, 2-1 or 0-3. So that's something that our players we've got to get over as a coaching staff, as players, and we've got to take that into practice this next week. Focus on every little detail and try to get better, and look forward to another challenge.
And what's it going to take in practice this week to look at those mistakes and not make them again once it comes to the tough games in conference?
Well, I think it's going to take the same things that we've been doing. So we probably practice hands team as much as anybody in the state. We probably give our players on the hands team more opportunities to practice that, but we give up an onside kick. So I think just continuing to focus on doing those things and really trying to create a competitive atmosphere in practice, and create that energy level, that pressure. One of the things that we're going to do, or we've got to do, is try to create a third and long situation where our players understand the importance of getting off the field on third down. Same thing on the offensive side of the ball. We've got to convert on third down. We've got to get to the sticks. Now, first and second down for our offense is just as important, but we've been doing a great job defensively on first and second down. Third and long is where our opponent's been getting us. So we've got to create a competitive atmosphere around that specific down and distance. So we'll really focus on that throughout the bye week and then going into the Nashville week.
So how do you create that competitive atmosphere in practice? Do you say, well, if you don't get off the field on this third down, you have to run 5 wind sprints, or what is it?
Well, yeah, you can do that. In the past, what we've done is we've put yard markers out there. Really, if you're able to get 4 yards as an offense on first down, then you've won. If you get half of it on offense, you've won. Or half of second down, you've won. If you get to the sticks on third down, you've won. And then defensively, if they don't, the very opposite for the defense. And then giving them consequences for not winning on third down. So yeah, creating those competitive atmospheres is what we want to do for those situations.
All right, so Coach, let's talk a little bit about the bye week coming up. That's something completely new. We haven't had it in a long time in high school football, but now we have it again this year. And talk about how you're going to treat this week differently than a normal week of practice.
Yeah, so really we've got a specific plan that we're going to execute this week. Our players, we're going to do our normal Sunday routine on Monday, and so we'll really focus on getting things corrected on the film, getting our lift in, getting our recovery run in. And then on Tuesday, we'll go back to work. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday really be work days. Thursday will be cut down a little bit, and on Friday, we've got something that we're going to do that's going to provide for for a more of a conditioning setting on Friday, and then we'll get them out of there early on Friday, and then come back to work for the game week.
Right. A big thing about the bye week is that it gives some time for injured players to return, and the Badgers have had some injuries, especially on offense with Zon Hatley and Buster Thomas. Do you think we could expect them to be back for the Nashville game?
That's our hope. We're hoping that Buster's going to be healthy for both these weeks of practice. We're hoping Zion's going to be healthy, and we're working towards that. I mean, we get help from Dr. DeWitt at Ouachita Baptist University. We get help from him, and then of course our trainer that comes to every Friday night game, Corey Weir. So we're doing everything that we can to get those guys back on the field. Victor got banged up a little bit on Friday, so we've got to get him back. Carlos in practice the week before. The bye week, we're going to use that as an opportunity to really try to get those guys healthy and make sure we're at 100% for the game next Friday.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about that game next Friday. This is a big game for the Badgers, historical rival, Nashville. Everyone really gets excited for that game around town. So what's that game going to be like this year against the Scrappers?
Well, I think, they've got a new defensive coordinator, so their defense is not as big as they have been in the past, but they're really quick. They do a lot of stunts and blitzes, and they do a lot of different stunts and blitzes every week. One of the things that we've got to be able to do is we've got to be able to pick up those stunts and blitzes, whether it's a run or a pass, and then we've got to be able to make sure offensively that we are staying ahead of the chains, what I've already talked about, and then defensively, they've got two really good running backs. They run really hard. Their offensive line is all back from last year. But you can expect the same things out of their offense. They love the outside zone. They love the power play. They love the counter. So we've got to be ready to stop those. And then in the air, they do a great job in the passing game. Their quarterback's getting better every week. It's just like every other week. It's going to be a challenge, and we've got to rise up to the challenge. We've got to have great energy and effort in practice. We've got to have a high belief level in ourselves, no matter what happened in the non-conference, and that's the biggest thing to me for us as a coaching staff and for players. I believe these guys can do it. I believe that our guys can come to practice every day with energy and effort, and we're going to speak belief into our players, and I believe they're going to come to work this week, and we'll get better this week, and look forward to a very competitive atmosphere against Nashville the next Friday night.
Right, and finally, real quick, Coach, how big would a win be against Nashville?
I think it'd be really, really big for our players, for our coaches, for Arkadelphia. I think that if we can get back on the winning track, I think that'd be great for everybody. And we're doing everything that we can to do that. We do. We've got a real process that we go through every single week. We've stuck to that process, and we're going to continue to. We've tweaked that process. We're going to continue to work as hard as we can to get that win, and we look forward to this week of practice getting better, and then the next week of practice preparing for Friday night.
Right, Coach. Well, thank you very much, and guys, we hope to see you 2 Fridays from now. Not this Friday, we got a bye week, but the next one, the Badgers are going to travel to Nashville to take on the Scrappers. So if you can't make it down to Nashville, be sure to tune in on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com to keep up with all the action. So we'll be back next week, not this week, but next week with more of the J.R. Eldridge Show. So we'll see you then.
The J.R. Eldridge Show is sponsored by Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, Welch Funeral Home, Southwest Sporting Goods, Arnold, Batson, Turner & Turner, Attorneys at Law, Jostens, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Southern Bancorp, Taylor King, Personal Injury Lawyers, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Twin Rivers Health and Rehabilitation, Turner, Rogers, Manning and Plyler, PLLC, and Roger Wingfield of State Farm Insurance. Join us again next week for more Badger football action with Caleb Bird and head coach J.R. Eldridge.